I had a sister that passed away 6 years ago. She was also HIV positive. She couldn't take her medicine. She couldn't swallow her medicine, and so she gave up on her medicine. And then she had a lot of losses in her life. She lost her daughter, she lost her partner, and her common law, all within like a 3-month span. And she herself wasn't doing so good, so she ended up passing away. There's no reason for a person to pass away from AIDS. Hi, my name is Danita Wahpoosewyan. My spirit names are Lightning Rock Woman, She Who Goes Far, and a White Horse with Wings. And I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan. I come from Treaty 4. I am from Zagime Anishinabec First Nation. I'm half Cree and half Soto. I work at AIDS programs. I do addiction. I do a support group once a week. I also was doing an opiate support group, but because of funding, they only had that for 1 year. But yeah, the opiate support group really opened my eyes to see what the challenges and the crisis that we have. It's not only here in Regina, but it's across Canada. But society, they don't care about people who are using. This is an epidemic, and they're not getting the help that they need. Most of them are falling through cracks, I believe, in the system. There's a lot of negative impacts of colonization, and I know there's the residential school system, 60 Scoop, where people find themselves stuck. My dad is a residential school survivor. My mother isn't. I was raised on the reserve it was called Zagime First Nation, but it name changed to Zagime Anishinabec First Nation now. I grew up on the reserve until I was about 3 or so. And then from there, our family moved around. And then we came back to Regina, and I believe around 6 or 7 years old. I'm a part of 60 Scoop because at that time, our family was split apart. So my older sister, she was taken to a group home. Me and my 2 siblings, we were placed in a foster care until I was like 16. And my 2 siblings younger than me they were adopted. I grew up in a foster home that was very, very, wasn't healthy. It was very kind of abusive. But we got out of the foster home. I got reunited with my biological family when I was 15. I discovered alcohol around that time. I had a lot of years that I drank with my family, not knowing how to live healthy, I guess, I had my first child in 1984, and I didn't know how to be a mother also because I didn't have the love that I should have been given. I was lost at that time. I continued to drink for quite a number of years, and then I had some losses in my life. I lost my partner, and I lost my baby. When my daughter was 18 or so, and her biological dad, they introduced me to cocaine, and from there I just fell in love with that because it gave me a high and it made me forget about stuff and about life. I was using quite heavily, and I believe that's how I got my HIV diagnosis, through injection drug use. I think it was possibly in my first year of being positive that I was able to go on my first CAAN conference. I was able to see a lot of Indigenous people living with HIV. It was really, really new to me being HIV positive. And for me to see a lot of Native Indigenous people living with HIV, I didn't feel alone. And then in 2006, I was hired full-time by AIDS Program South Saskatchewan because I went through their life skills program, and then I went to treatment, and I went into a healing lodge in my first year of diagnosis. I was given my first spirit name and my spirit colors. I tried to get the support that I needed, but it wasn't enough at that time. I had lost my son to social services. But then I kept on really trying hard to get him back. So I went through a few more treatment centers in order for me to learn to live healthy. 2012 is when I hit my rock bottom. I had been working at AIDS programs for a number of years, for around 7 years, but I still needed help in my addiction. So when I hit my rock bottom, I decided to move to Saskatoon, and it was that I think really saved my life. Just getting away from Regina, I was able to do some work up there. I was continuing to see my son on a monthly basis. I would come up to Regina, have a visit with my son, go back to Saskatoon. And I did that for about a year, almost two years actually. And while I was up in Saskatoon, I never touched any hard drugs. So in 2014, I went into my last treatment center at Calder, and something really stuck while I was there, because I was learning how to control my cravings, and I was getting all these tools that I needed to help myself. I wanted to come home because I was lonesome for my family. I went back to see my child protection worker, and I told her my plans of coming home, and I did my treatment. I showed her my certificate, and I also was doing drug screens up in Saskatoon. So I had a big pile of clean drug screens that I was able to show her that I was off of using. And then I was able to get an apartment, and I reconnected with AIDS Program South Saskatchewan. They rehired me. And then I was a peer mentor with the Saskatchewan Health Region, so they rehired me also. So I just got back onto living, I suppose, trying to live properly, raising my son. So it's been a while. It's been over 10 years since I've picked up IV drugs, but I've also had to learn a lot about myself in order to do that. I myself am two-spirited, but when I did come out when I was in Saskatoon, and when I came back to Regina, it was really hard for me to be accepted in my family. But today it's okay, but in the beginning it wasn't. CAAN has loved all two-spirited people, and they celebrate being two-spirited. And to me, that's that's good. We're moving in the right direction. And because we can't exclude people who are different. Two-spirited means people who are gifted. I look at others, they have that gift to be walking in one foot and also walking in two worlds. So I think CAAN has did a good job of supporting people who are two-spirited. I love the fact that CAAN is grounded in spirituality and ceremonies. My spirit is so thankful and grateful. I always think that knowledge is power. Learn, get educated on HIV and all these syphilis, Hep C, other bloodborne diseases. The more you know, the more that you can share with other people, and then you can help your community get healthy and stay healthy. I'm on a better, healthier path today. I don't drink. To me, it was such a hard thing for me to do, was to quit drinking. But I find now, like with my culture and smudging and just asking creators to take that away from me, like he took away the IV urge, the urge to use cocaine, he took that away from me, and he's taken away the drinking urges. It's my responsibility to look after myself, in the best way that I can, and without putting all these negative toxins into my body, and to have a clear mind today. And I feel that, I'm open to, to Creator, what he wants me to do today. And I ask him to help me and to show me. And I ask my spirit guides every day to help me and to show me how to live in a good way. I've come in contact with my culture, mostly through organizations like All Nations Hope. They really, really helped me, supported me. I'm part of a research called Kotowe. It's a Cree term for bringing the fire. It was also a chance for me to learn my culture too. And there was other spiritual elders that was put in my place that I started seeing. And I started going to ceremonies, going to sweats, full moon ceremonies, sunrise ceremonies. I'm learning from my ancestors. And I know that my ancestors, they prayed and prayed for us to be here, for me to be here. I need to also do that for my future generations too. I say, like, walking with gentle footsteps so I can clear a path for future people who are maybe newly diagnosed, who are struggling with addiction. You're never lost. An elder told me that you are never lost. We're in the center of the 4 directions, so I know I'm not lost.